Hello, I want to shoot straight with you this morning as I do this quick video on market trading. What does it take? How much money do you really need? All of that. You know, market trading is one of the four streams of Eden. It's actually falls into stream number 3 and stream number 4. But before you get to stream 3 and 4 in progression, of course, stream number 1 is your job, right? Everyone needs a job to start, but you've got to get started in stream 1, 2, and then move into 3 and 4. And so some people just will say, well, what do I need to do? I just want to trade the markets. I don't want a job. I don't want stream number 2. I don't want 4. I just want to trade the markets. Well, it doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. And here's what I recommend. Primarily, you need to develop a lifestyle and an entrepreneurial spirit and a capacity to take risk. It's got to be a capacity to take risk out beyond your job. Oh, I risked my life today and went down and I worked for my boss. No, not that kind of risk. We're talking about the risk of saving money, taking that money and investing it, hoping to make more money off of your investment seed. That's primary. For a person to trade markets, to try to just jump in the shark-infested waters of investments without any prior experience, without ever taking $100 and turning it into 200, without ever taking $1,000, buying a car and selling it for 2,000 or 3,000, without ever doing any kind of investment outside of the markets, it's just a death. It's just a death nail. It's not going to work. And so what I really recommend is primarily is start investing. And even before you start investing, you have to get seed money. And so what I always tell people, and I did this, I remember in 2000, the year 2000, when I said, that's it, enough is enough. I'm making a principle law for my life, and I am going to, from now on, save 10 cents of every dollar that comes into my hands, period. 10, 10, 80 is what I call it. Give 10 to God. I keep 10 for investment and for my children's future. And then 80%, everyone else gets to fight and scrap over that. And that includes everything, 80%. You may be saying, well, I can't live on 80%. Well, that's true. You might not be able to live on 80, but you'll never be an investor. Never be an entrepreneur. You got to have seed money, and you have to have a constant supply of seed coming in so that you can activate investments as they come available. Some people tell me, you know, I don't get investments available. And I would respond and say, the investments don't come a person's way if they don't have the capacity to invest. Because God would not want you to live a life of sorrow, saying, oh, look, there was an opportunity and I couldn't do it. And there's another opportunity and I couldn't do it. You just won't see the opportunities. If you don't have the capacity to invest in the opportunities, you're not going to see the opportunities. They are all around you, and they're around you every day. You just won't see them because you're not in the investment mindset. So primarily, set up a plan to start saving money. I remember when I decided in the year 2000, that's it, I'm doing this from now on for the rest of my life. I had a friend in St. Louis. He said the same thing. He said, I'm going to do the exact same thing. And he, amazingly, he came back, he said in 1 year, he said, I've never had so much money in all of my life. It's sitting in a savings account, and I'm starting to invest now, but I never had any money. I had never had anything extra. So that's primarily. Secondarily, once you begin investing and you get some seed money together, the important thing is to get education. Get educated. You don't want to invest in stuff that you don't know about. Don't ever buy a car to turn around and sell it if you don't know about cars. Don't ever buy a market or a stock unless you know all about the stock market. Stay away from stuff you don't know about and dive into stuff that you become an expert at. So before you ever invest in any kind of a stock market, futures, options, bonds, Forex, any of that, you need to become versed and become very, very good at what you're doing. Then you put live money on it. And that brings me to training in the markets. Now, I do train a limited number of students. I'm very picky, very selective, and I'm not interested in bringing in thousands of students at once and then you all just get in line. I attempt to make people successful, and I think that you'll see if you look out there at our student testimonials, the ones that wrote testimonials are just saying, man, this thing rocks. I still use it today. I just had a guy contact me. He said, you know, I took your class back in '08. I'm still using it today. That's awesome. And that's typically what happens with my trading system, is that people find it, it changes them, it changes the way they think, it changes the way that they operate, and they never, ever go back. And some of them take what I've trained and then they actually get creative and advance it even further for them, for their family. But I got the goods that are proven, and they will make you successful. So before you ever jump out there, I think at the beginning of our website page, it says new investors will do one of two things. They'll either jump out, go give all their money away and lose it, and then they come get training, or they go get training first and they never have to suffer loss. And I recommend that you do the second. Don't suffer loss, because then you're just going to have to recapture and regain more seed and come back a second time humbled and get education. I promise you, the markets out there are filled with sharks and predators. Their goal is to invite you in the water, to convince you that it's okay and that everyone's going to win, win, win. And then they will either slow bleed you or they will fast bleed you. But they're going to bleed you, and they're going to win. 9 out of 10 people never make constant money in the markets. Why is that? Well, 10% are the sharks and predators. And the other 90% are good old boys that just think, well, you know, I'm going to make it, I'm going to do it. I don't know why everyone else is so stupid, but I'm going to be the 1 out of 10. I promise you, without training, without changing this, and without changing your viewpoint and showing you the secrets of where the predators hang out, you will be the 90%. It's just the way it is. So invite you to come on out. Sometime this year, come on out and let's take 1 year together. I can train you, but first of all, primarily, you got to develop a seed mentality. Get your seed coming in constantly. You know, and you're going to win some in life, you're going to lose some in life, but you got to keep seed coming in. Don't be that person that said, well, I tried one time to invest in something and it didn't work. I lost my money and that's it. I'm never going to do it again. Well, then you're locked in stream number 1 and slavery the rest of your life. Don't do that. Always have seed coming in. And remember this, that whatever you sow, the Bible says you'll reap it back. Maybe not in this season, but you'll reap it back in another season if you don't faint. And I always stand by that. You know, I've sown stuff and lost it. I've won and I've lost in different markets, in different areas, but I always get it back because I refuse to faint. I learn from it. And you know, if you lost $1,000, you lost 5. I know people that have lost millions. Just consider it a good college class before you jump into the really big world that God has in store for you in the future. And if you learned and you passed the class and you won't ever do that again, the next time you step out and invest, you will have a greater chance of success. All right, we'll look forward to seeing you soon. I hope this has helped you. Primarily, get your seed coming in. 10, 10, 80 is what I recommend for starting. And then, number 2, start learning and get educated before you step into any investment environment or market environment. God bless you.